All right. We'll now call the city council regular meeting to order for May 22nd at 6 p.m. Please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Do we have a Sister Joe Antley with us tonight? Yes, ma'am. If you'll be giving the invocation, if you could please make your way up to the podium there. Whenever you're ready, go ahead.
Gracious Lord Jesus, we want to thank you for this opportunity to come and make decisions for this beautiful city of Avon Park. I ask, Lord, that you would give guidance and wisdom to each one of the members of the council, that they will make good decisions for this city. And that, Lord, you will lead them and you guide them, give them strength to do what they need to do. And Lord, give them comfort where there needs to be comfort. And I believe this city needs some comfort right now. So I pray for them. And so please use these people according to your will, that your will might be done for this beautiful city. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May be seated. Thank you, Sister Joe. Much appreciated. Madam Clerk, if you'll please call the roll.
Yes, sir. Councilmember McGuire.
Here.
Councilmember McCure.
Here.
Councilmember Taylor.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard.
Here.
Mayor Anderson.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Item number 4, this will be a proclamation for the Community Action Month. This will be for Arlene Dobson. Is she here tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. You have it up. Guess not. All right. It says, whereas Community Action has made essential contributions to individuals and families across this nation by creating economic opportunities and strengthening communities, and whereas Community Action is a robust state and local force connecting people to life-changing services and creating pathways to prosperity in 99% of all American counties. And whereas Community Action builds and promotes economic stability as an essential aspect in enabling and enhancing stronger communities and stable homes. And whereas Community Action promotes community-wide solutions to challenges throughout our cities, suburbs, and rural areas. And whereas Community Action delivers innovative services and supports that create greater opportunities for family and children to succeed. Whereas Community Action insists on community participation and involvement, ensuring that all sectors of the community have a voice and will be heard. And whereas Community Action is celebrating 59 years of innovation, impact, and providing proven results for Americans. Now, therefore, I, Garrett Anderson, Mayor of Avon Park, Florida, do hereby proclaim May 2023 as Community Action Month in recognition of the hard work and dedication of all Avon Park, Florida community action agencies. All right. Item number 5. Do we have Miss Kamla?
I don't see her.
We're striking out tonight, guys.
You can put her on later, hopefully.
If you haven't met Kamla, go meet her. Item number 6, this will be the minutes for May 4th, 2023, City Council special meeting, and for May 8th, 2023, City Council regular meeting. We just need a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we approve item C6 for minutes of May 4th, 2023, as well as May 8th, 2023.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
Any questions or changes on those minutes?
I just had one on page 4 of 15.
Okay.
Which one? Oh, never mind. Of the second one. I'm not sure if it's clear or not, but I was just encouraging Heartland Helping Hands not to allow a lot of outside businesses coming in. I'm not sure if that's worded correctly or not, but
Okay.
if that needs to be clarified.
It doesn't. Just the
Okay.
fact that you brought that up, is all it needs.
Okay.
Anything else on the minutes? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Do we have Jeff with us?
It will be Brenda Torres. And
Oh.
he's on the diet.
All right, so we have item number 7. This is going to be a public hearing, second reading for ordinance number 04-2023.
It's an ordinance of the city of Avon Park, Florida, amending the Avon Park Unified Land Development Code, specifically amending section 2.05.02 regarding regulations for boat slips/ramps, docks, boathouses, and fishing piers, and removing requirements for city council approval of boat slips/ramps, docks, boathouses, and fishing piers, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date.
Take it away.
Okay. Again, for the record, I'm Brenda Torres with the Central Florida Regional Planning Council. And this is the second reading, so I'll just give a quick overview again of the proposed text amendments. For docks, boathouses, and fishing piers, the proposed changes for consistency with the Florida Department of Environmental Protection, and also provides updates to standards consistent for establishing docks, boats, houses, and fishing piers on the lakes in the city. And then it also amends requirements for the city council approval to respect an administrative review and approval process.
Okay. So as I said, this will be a public hearing. So the public hearing for ordinance 04-2023 is now open. Anyone wishing to speak on this subject can now do so. Seeing no rush to the podium. Public hearing for ordinance 04-2023 is now closed. Does council have any further questions?
No.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Make a motion, we approve item D7, ordinance 04-2023, please.
Do we have a second?
I second it.
Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item number 8, this will be a public hearing and second reading for ordinance 05-2023.
An ordinance of the city of Avon Park, Florida, amending the Avon Park Unified Land Development Code, specifically amending section 2.05.00 pertaining to standards regulating accessory structures, and amending section 2.02.11 pertaining to standards regulating the size and location of fences on residentially zoned property, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date.
Ms. Torres, take it away.
So again, this is proposed text amendments for accessory structures. The proposed changes to development standards include removal of the 25% minimum floor area limitation, removal of the requirement that accessory structures may not be larger than the principal structure, provides that accessory structure shall not be allowed based on the calculations of maximum lot coverage, and removes text prohibiting tubs and showers within accessory structures in residential districts to remove conflicts with the permission for accessory dwelling units. Update language regarding consistency with the Florida Building Code.
Okay. Again, this will be a public hearing. Public hearing for the second reading of ordinance 05-2023 can now, anyone wishing to speak can now do so. Seeing no takers, public hearing for ordinance number 05-2023 is now closed. Does anyone have any questions about this?
No.
No questions.
Seeing none, entertain a motion.
Make a motion, we approve item D8 for a second reading ordinance 05-2023, please.
Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call a roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item number 9, this will be the first reading of ordinance number 06-2023 and 07-2023.
06-2023 is an ordinance amending the future land use map of the city of Avon Park, Florida, amending one parcel of land consisting of plus or minus 39.63 acres generally located south of Lake Lenata on north side of Davis Citrus Road, address being 3501 Davis Citrus Road, from a future land use of county medium density residential MDR to city medium density residential MDR, transmitting said amendment to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity for notification purposes only, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing for an effective date.
Okay, Ms. Torres.
Okay, so today we have a proposed future land use amendment rezoning done by the applicant, Mr. Wheeler with Wheeler Farms. And the request is for a future land use map amendment and rezoning of a property made up of 39.63 acres located at 3501 Davis Citrus Road, generally located south of Lake Glenada and north of Davis Citrus Road. The purpose of this rezoning and future land use map amendment is to assign a future land use and zoning that would support the development of multifamily housing on the property. The existing future land use is residential medium, which allows up to 8 dwelling units an acre. The existing zoning is county R1A residential district, which allows 8 dwelling units an acre. The proposed future land use is city medium density residential, which permits up to 16 dwelling units an acre. And the proposed zoning is city R3 high density multifamily residential, which also supports 16 dwelling units an acre. Here we have a land use compatibility table just showing you the current county medium density residential, which allows 8 dwelling units, and then the proposed, which allows 16 dwelling units at 3.963 acres. The density change would be 317 dwelling units. The surrounding area contains a mixed use of county low density residential and city medium density residential, as well as county agricultural land use. We have the college to the north of the property. So considering potential growth in the area and the presence of the college, the request is compatible with the character of the surrounding area and supports opportunity for future housing.
Okay, do we have any questions on this change?
So basically, the change will allow them to build twice as many homes as is the zone now, correct?
Correct.
And Mr. Wheeler is here if you have any questions.
Okay,
Yes.
we have a, go ahead.
Sorry. And we did consistency with the comprehensive plan, and it does support the future land use and housing elements in the comp plan. It's also consistent with the infrastructure element in the utility service capacity is available to serve the future development pending connection improvements. And then it also supports the goal of providing orderly growth and development compatible with the correct character of the surrounding area. We also did a impact on public facilities and service analysis, and city water and sewer capacity and solid waste services are available to serve the proposed development. As far as transportation, traffic concurrency improvements will need to be coordinated with Highlands County and FDOT at the time of development. And then Highlands County School Board should also be notified that they have sufficient capacity to serve new students that may be generated. And also no negative impacts are anticipated on the city's recreational facilities.
Okay. You have any further questions?
What would be the approximate size of each lot? The dimensions?
Well, it would be multifamily, so it could be apartments. They wouldn't have lots. The concept plan isn't still in development.
I got you. Thank you. So I wanted to know.
Mr. Wheeler, do you care to speak at all? Okay. Okay. Any other questions? Anything?
I mean, I would like to hear what his plans for the for the future of the property.
I would-
Mr. Wheeler,
Yeah,
would you be
please.
willing? Please give your name and address for the record.
David Wheeler, 206 Dow Hall Boulevard, Lake Placid, Florida.
Yes, sir.
So
Please go ahead with your
my
question.
company is primarily involved in citrus production. That's what we plan to do with the property. In the near term, we are just setting it up.
Is that light on that microphone there?
There's a blue light.
Yep.
Okay, sorry. short term, primarily citrus production. We're just setting the property up for future growth. It's next to a mobile home park and near the college, so no immediate plans to change it.
Would that likely be a project that you guys would want to develop yourself or potentially sell to another developer?
I don't know for sure. Normally, I would say sell to another developer, but with the state of the citrus industry, there is a chance that we could do that ourselves.
And if you decided to do it yourself, would you see more like apartments and townhomes or a trailer park?
Be happy to work with the city, whichever is more needed in that area. It is next door to a trailer park, but does that make the most sense, or apartments? Be happy to work with the city on that.
Okay. Any other questions?
Nope.
Seeing none. Thank you very much. All right, as I said, this is a first reading. It will be coming back for a second reading. So do we have a motion for ordinance number 06-2023?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance number 06-2023.
Do we have a second?
Do I need to include the 07-2023 as well?
No, not yet.
They'll be separate.
Separate, okay.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a second?
I'll
Anyone?
second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Again, this is for 06-2023. Seeing no more questions, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes,
motion passes.
thank you. Next will be ordinance 07-2023.
An ordinance amending the official zoning map of the city of Avon Park, Florida, amending one parcel of land consisting of plus or minus 39.63 acres, generally located south of Lake Lenata on the north side of Davis Citrus Road, address being 3501 Davis Citrus Road, from a zoning of the county R1A residential district to city R3 high density multifamily residential, providing for severability, providing for conflict, and providing an effective date.
Hey, Ms. Torres.
This is accompany the presentation that I just gave, so this would be just voting on the rezoning, but I covered it in the presentation.
Okay, is there any further questions about ordinance 07-2023?
nope.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve ordinance 07-2023.
Do we have a second?
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, please call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes,
motion passes.
okay. Item number 10, this will be the council to vet Charles Lanfear, the applicant for the CRA Advisory Board Airport vacant seat. Chrissy, anything to add?
No, as you can see, I performed the reference check for Mr. Lanfear. He came highly recommended. As one mentioned, he's overqualified, so I thought it would be really good to mention that. And Mr. Lanfear is here if you'd like to ask him any questions.
Okay, Mr. Lanfear, is there anything you'd like to say? Just give your name and address for the record, please.
Charles Lanfear, 501 Lake Lotila Drive, Avon Park. Just here, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them at this time.
Okay, any questions from Mr. Lanfear?
Yeah, I have a question for him. Sir, how did you qualify to be on the airport CRA board?
Ma'am, as I understand it, it's just a citizenship board. I've been at the airport now for 15 years as a pilot, and I've kept a plane there since 2010 myself, and have the time and opportunity to serve if need be.
That's how you qualify. Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Any other questions?
No.
Seeing none, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve D10 for Charles Lanfear to be the CRA Advisory Board seat, fill the seat.
and I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes,
motion passes.
Charles, thank you for stepping up.
Thank you,
forward to
sir.
working with you.
Been vacant for a while.
Item number 11, we have the Ascent Aviation Group, Inc. This will be for a fuel purchase. Mark, I guess you'll be handling that one.
Yeah, Melody was off today. Well, this is above what I can approve, $36,567.04.
If we're having to buy fuel, that's a good thing.
Yep.
Any questions on the fuel purchase?
My only question is for you, Mark, is that basically as the price of fuel may or may not go up, then we're gonna be over that $25,000 limit if they continue to increase the airport traffic as it is now, correct?
Well, yeah, we never know from when it's ordered until it's delivered what it's exactly gonna be.
Oh, you don't?
It goes up and down every day, so.
So, yeah, but we don't order a certain amount. We just tell them to bring a tanker full.
No, when we get down a certain amount, we order it, or like if FAM's out there and know they're gonna have a bunch of different planes flying in that are requesting fuel, then they ask us to get more.
But they have to bring it in certain amounts, I think is what you're
Correct.
asking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Full trucks.
That's-
Yeah.
That was my whole question.
Right.
So
So I'm guessing you're alluding to, do we want to raise the purchasing authority so that we don't have to come back for this each time? Is that-
I think it might be something we should consider as it continues to grow. This is the second time in a month, I think we've done this.
Yeah. The only question would be for Jerry, is it possible to raise the authority for purchasing certain items without doing a blanket?
Yes.
Okay. So we could potentially vote to, raise the cap for fuel only
Yes.
at the airport for it to 40,000 or 50,000 or whatever.
And whatever you feel is reasonable,
Mhm.
for purchasing authority.
Okay. Well, I would just simply ask the staff to do some calculations as to what you think the maximum amount would be for fuel purchases only, and then we'll talk about that at our next meeting to raise it for that specific item. So hopefully we don't have to do this each time.
Well, and it'll only be until hopefully FAM gets out there full time. They'll be ordering their own fuel.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What's the interval of ordering fuel? Is this every month or every 6 months?
There really is no set because it all depends on how much they're using, who they got flying in, so.
Well, I don't think we've ordered in probably at least a quarter, right?
Well, whether it was jet fuel or not, we ordered some not long because it came in front of you because it was over my limit and they needed it in a hurry, so.
Okay.
I really can't say it's every month. It's usually, it's here's to get more, here's to get more planes coming in.
Okay.
as long as they take over the lease, then we don't have to worry about in the future then.
Yep. All right. Do we have a motion for item number 11, the fuel purchase?
Make a motion, we approve item of number 11 and the over amount that is included in the minutes.
$36,567.04.
That's the one.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Let's call for questions. Seeing no one, call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember Vatir,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item number 12, this will be a code enforcement lien reduction for 31 West Sunshine Lane.
So I looked over this particular property and we had an issue with the matrix because it wasn't really designed for raw land. And we looked it over, but we'll just go ahead and go through the questioning. So this is Randy, this is a raw land, is it not?
Yes, this is a vacant piece of property.
And this is the owner was the violator?
No. This is the one that was not. This is this particular property was bought during a tax deed sale. 601 is the one where the violator. So
And have they made any improvements to the property? Just
yes, I've included the recent, as you requested prior. Before and after pictures have been included in council packet. It is a vacant piece of property. I think it's like it's a double lot and it is it's in complete compliance and it has been for over 90 days.
council want to look over the property,
This one I broke down a little different because this one actually has abatement. They actually did 10 abatements or 9 abatements on this property back all the way back to 2014 up to the last one in, I believe, 2017. So the way I figured it, since hard costs, quote unquote, are not part of the lien reduction, I took the original 23,076.02, subtracted the hard cost of $2,756.01. That left a balance of 20,320.01 that they're eligible to have a reduction of. To me, the hard costs are not even on the plate. Those have to be paid regardless.
right?
My only question to this is when you have an investment company that purchased this and then they say they're unaware of any liens or fines, I mean, that just seems a little strange to me.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It seems to be a reoccurring theme. Anytime
Yes.
one of these is bought on the steps of
Yeah,
the
it's almost
courthouse,
like they're just out of town people, they're just buying
yeah,
it.
they don't
and-
do their due diligence to
And they
see.
don't find out until afterwards, and it's like, then all of a sudden they want us to give them a 90%
It's-
reduction.
It's easily located on the clerk of court's website. They
Yeah.
can see if there's a lien on this property or not prior to actually bidding.
As well as the fact, I think we discussed last time, we need to start increasing our hard costs because it isn't quite worth the amount of time we send somebody out there like at least twice, and we're not even paying hourly wage, let alone equipment and time, so that's something we need to bring up on a future agenda, changing the hard cost.
So wasn't it originally proposed that these would be administrative cases and not come before the council?
Originally, these were going in front of the magistrate, the code enforcement magistrate.
the problem was that they weren't really understanding how to put it together.
Is
Yeah.
this something that we could have perhaps the city admin take care of
Sure.
instead of coming before us each time? Is that possible?
Well, ultimately, you're the only people that can approve a lien, but they can make a recommendation. But you're the only, after the lien has been recorded, even the special magistrate doesn't have any authority over it. You have the only authority over the lien.
Okay.
I have one question. Did the new owners, are they the ones that cleaned up the property or are the old owners?
It's
cleaned
the
it
new
up?
owners.
The new owners.
And I believe they are, I don't know if there was, all 3 were contacted. 1 was going to be in person, 2 are going to be via Zoom. So I believe I sent an email. I don't know which one this was.
Okay.
Well, apparently there's nobody here, I assume, from this property, so they must not have bothered to call in. They were given instructions and they were confirmed
I
Friday.
believe we have her on the Zoom.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi.
Oh, was there a question for her in particular, or were you just seeing if she was here?
I just wanted to make sure she was available for any
So-
questions that you may have.
Do you want to go ahead and put her under oath?
Ms. Santos? I'm going to go ahead and swear you in for testimony. Can you raise your right hand? Can you hear me?
Yes. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm going to swear you in for testimony. There you go. All right. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
Thank you.
I do.
Thank you.
welcome.
So when you acquired this property, you didn't do any review of the title associated with it to see that there was a lien on the property?
Yes, there is a lien on the property
I'm sorry,
made by Avon Park.
I didn't understand that.
She said, yes, she know that there was a lien on the property.
Okay, so when
No,
you,
no.
No?
Yeah, yes, we know when Mr. Bergebach we know when Mr. Berge tried to sell the property, and then the realtor company found out the property has a lien.
Okay,
Sounds like it came, the Realtor company found through a title search the lien when she was trying to sell it. That's what I got out of that.
Yes.
I got a question. Ms. Santos, what is your address?
My address is 3502 Cayman Court, apartment 2907 in Kissimmee, Florida 34741.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Ms. Santos?
so you're going to keep this land, this property maintained now, or are you going to sell it until you sell it, or?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We will keep the property maintained until Mr. Berger sell it. The situation is, after we move out from Avon Park to Kissimmee, my boss, Mr. Berger, hired landscaping guy to maintain the property. But sometimes we receive a letter from the Avon Park City that the property is not taken care properly. And all the time I've been speaking, talking to Miss Ashley, always, and always we take care of the property. The situation is one time Mr. Berger had a heart attack in Brazil. I believe so was the time that you guys had a meeting and put the lien on the property. Mr. Berger was in Brazil. He had a heart attack, and he stayed there for 3 months. When he came back, he found a letter in his house, in his mail, and then sent me to me, and then I called Miss Ashley. Miss Ashley, I spoke with her again, and we sent her again another guy to clean the property, but Miss Ashley did not know at that time the property already had a lien.
Ms. Santos, you used to live
Yes.
here at Avon Park?
Yes, we lived there until 2012.
Okay. And
Yeah,
you
before 2012, before 2012, Mr. Berry has their own employee that take care of the property. Never had a problem with the property. We never received a letter from Avon Park, never. After we moved the office to Kissimmee, that's the problem. We are not there anymore, so we have a lot of problem with the people. Mr. Berger, sometimes he paid it to the landscaping and he didn't do the job.
Okay, so under the previous matrix and the characterization of the violation, we could only get minor out of this, which was but we discussed it, Randy and the city manager and Councilperson McGuire, and seemed like there should be something more for somebody who's just simply raw land with what wasn't really fitting that very well. So we modified this to add a new provision in here that says land is properly maintained and clean, unimproved property. And same thing under the, that was for the efforts, and then the value to the community. Unimproved land has been properly maintained and clean. And as I understand
Okay.
it, that's the state of it now from Randy. Is that correct?
Yes,
correct.
I attach photos to their packet as well, to the council packet.
So if you go to the matrix for the requesters that were not the violators, but acquired the property from tax sale, and so the violator has not benefited. You have a choice. The previous one was minor, or the way we changed it, it's moderate, which would, under minor, it would be 0 to 20%. Under moderate, it'd be 45 to 55%. And I'll bring you the modified matrix. We've been working on it quite a bit, and bring you that for approval at the next meeting.
Okay. There'll be 45 to 55% reduction.
Under the new matrix, yeah.
Okay. Is that your recommendation?
Yes.
Go to that. Okay. Anything else to add or any other questions?
I'm just, the way that she was talking, she was the violator, but is that not?
Can
the
I,
case?
I think there's miscommunication here. I don't believe are you for 601 East Cornell?
Yes, 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 I am.
We're
This is
talking to the
lot.
wrong person.
Yes,
Okay,
it's the lot. My boss is the owner of the lot.
okay.
All right, so we're looking
But
for the other person. that-
Yep. So Ms. Santos, we're actually working on the case before yours.
Yeah,
So
we'll get to you next.
we apologize for the miscommunication.
Okay,
All right, hold on.
it's okay.
So we should be on Sunshine Lane.
Yeah, but
Yes.
that's not the owner of Sunshine Lane.
Right.
So do we have the owner of Sunshine Lane peering?
That person was supposed to be on Zoom. There was 2 on Zoom, 1 in person. The 1 in person was 90 West Orange, the other 2 Zoom. Unless she's on there, she failed to
Acknowledge.
call in and acknowledge.
No one else is on there, right, Chris? Okay. All right. So recommendation of 55% reduction,
45 to 55.
45 to 55. Anyone want to weigh in on what they suggest?
So
And of
this
course,
is-
this would be on the basis of having them sign an agreement that they'll pay the full amount upfront, which we're changing, by the way. So they're gonna have to pay all the hard costs up before they can apply in the future.
Okay,
That'll be in the new policy.
perfect. Did you have a question there?
So this person was not the violator. This is a new company that bought this.
Correct. This was, this Elf Trail Investment, I believe it is. That's the name, the petitioner. They are they were not the violator. They bought it on the tax deed.
But yet they're the ones that fixed it up.
Yes, yes, they are the one and have kept it in compliance for at least 90 days.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we could go with the 45 to 50 on this one.
Okay.
That's what it would be.
Well, what do you want? 45, 50, or 55? You have a suggestion?
Brandy, you said you took these pictures yesterday or when did you take these
I think
pictures?
I put the date on there on the actual picture. It's within the last couple days.
Okay.
I have a copy of it. I took it on the 11th.
Okay. And so these people are not they bought this at a tax sale. They're not the violators.
Correct.
And they have to pay the hard costs, of course. I would do 45.
45 is her suggestion. Anyone else?
I'm in agreement.
We got 2 for 45.
I'll agree.
Okay.
The motion.
Do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve item number D12 for the 31 Sunshine Lane at a reduction of 45%.
45% plus hard costs, is that correct?
Yes, plus hard costs.
All right. Do we have a second for that motion?
I second it.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Before we get into the next case, what does the board feel about shifting these off to administrative so that we don't have to have these hearings? I would much like to work out this matrix the way our staff can understand it and everybody can work it out. It's very cut and dry and clean. And then if you're saying that the council has to vote on these at some point, is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Okay. So we could potentially have staff put everything together with a number that is the number, and we don't necessarily.
Well, whoever you select from the staff, if you're going to have them bring a recommendation that you're simply going to approve or disapprove, then they'll have to meet in the sunshine with regard to this. And it'll be still have the hearing.
Okay. Oh, so we would still have to have these hearings regardless.
They would still have to have a hearing.
Okay.
So if they're going to bring you, they're going to have to ascertain what the amount is from the and then discuss it at a hearing where you take evidence and so on, and then bring it to you as a recommendation based on what they heard in the hearing.
Okay. Well, what I would look for is if staff's interested in doing that, put together something and make a proposal to the council, maybe at our next meeting or at a future meeting if they want to, and look at making a shift.
Well,
When you say, I'm sorry, when you say staff, what department we talking about?
I was thinking either Randy or city manager or something to that effect.
And what do you say about that, Mark?
I would think it would be a lot of work
I think
to have a public hearing, swearing people in and that, but I'm with the mayor. This needs to be made simple if it's gonna come to council or is it the magistrate. To me, Jerry's done a great job on it, but it takes, it's kind of like a court case here in some aspects with people, and then we get them on Zoom, but maybe just a 1%. If it's this and this, you don't have to say, do you want 45? Do you want 55? That maybe
Okay.
just 1%, I
Yeah.
think, and just sitting here, I think staff needs to be a better job to bring in front of you, and I'll take that because I'm all their bosses, so it's on me. But I think we can bring a recommendation, not having to, you're still gonna have to hear people, but our recommendation is this is minor or whatever, and instead of going through this, it takes too long. It's not fair to you, the people here. So I think it still should remain here or the special magistrate, because we'd be doing hearings and someone would say we did something wrong and it's taking a lot of time and that, but it does need to be made much simplified in a recommendation, not a recommendation of reaching out, but this is where it meets, medium, whatever, that's 20%. As an example.
Would it be possible to have the magistrate do it? Since they're already meeting in the sunshine, they're already swearing people in?
Yes, I just think it needs to be easier for them to understand. Also, because they're not dealing with as much as Jerry is and Randy is.
Yeah.
Always looking at it, so.
Okay.
But in Jerry, in that case, I mean, Randy would be basically what I talked about bringing to them, right? Not this recommendation on that, but hey, this is meets the medium or.
Okay.
I'm going to put on the record, I do not understand the matrix, nor I'm not going to comment on it.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I take exception. I bring these to you guys every time. I do put these together correctly. I do contact Jerry before every one of them. I'm completely ready for this. So for
Yeah.
the record.
So what we're trying to avoid, Randy, is basically, I mean, what I'm personally trying to avoid, I would like to see just a number. Like there is no negotiation. It just, according to the matrix, it's this is how we got here. This is the number and that's end of story. And the council respects the decision that is made by our expert, Randy, and the magistrate is what I would like to see. And that way we avoid, the confusion. It's always, there's a lot of language barriers. There's, you're trying to get somebody on Zoom. It's kind of a crap show. So just
I
making
think Jerry's provided them the last several times.
Yeah.
I mean, he wrote the matrix and he understands it very well. Maybe what's wrong with Randy contacting him saying, here's the spiel?
well, that's
I think-
basically what's happening. It's just we need to.
But
Yeah, well, I think what happened here, it's a little bit of disjoint because I did do the matrix and everything for this one here. But and Senate, but I didn't ask for it to be on the agenda and have it in the agenda. You should have the opportunity to look at it and see why I selected that particular one. So what I can do is just write something up on it in the future, so that explain why I went the way I did.
Yeah,
That way.
that's what I think. If you could just give us a recommendation, then we will still have the individuals here if they want to attend. So they can either, say yes or no, they don't agree with you. And then it will still be our decision.
Yeah. Just try to narrow it down.
Yep,
Kind of
we'll try
idea.
and simplify it a little bit more.
Yeah, simplify.
Very good.
So until then, it'd be my recommendation, we don't put any more in front of you until we get it simplified. Would that be good?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good idea, except for this Cornell. I think that that
Right.
needs to be dealt with.
We agree.
Okay.
Okay.
You want to go ahead and do that, Randy?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 13.
This is a case where, in my opinion, should have never came in front of a code enforcement magistrate. This is raw land. It's at the corner of South Latila and Memorial. This is almost completely woods. There's no. In today's day, this was before me. Today's day, this would have never been written up. You can't expect to keep raw land that's never been cleared. You can't expect that to keep that manicured. That's just not reasonable.
So staff's recommendation basically is that you just, forgive the lien, period. Because it should have never been brought and we want to be fair about it. So it really is not even a matrix issue. It's just, why did this come about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fixing an anomaly.
That's great.
Yeah, I drove by the property and it's just mostly trees.
Yep.
There's no way you can mow in between the trees.
Okay. Jim, were you about to ask a question?
No, I agree with that too. I mean, this case is seven years old. I mean,
Okay.
it's under a different, regime of code enforcement and city managers, so on and so forth. I think Randy is our best bet for description of what he's seen and what he goes out and looks at before and after, and he's who we trust 100%. I actually think he's better at hearing his opinions than sometimes the city magistrate, who sometimes seems to be extremely lenient. So I agree with that. I think I'll just go ahead and just let this thing go.
Okay, so what would that motion look like, Jerry?
A move to forgive the lien on 601 East Cornell Street.
So moved.
We have a so moved. Do we have a second?
A second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any last questions? Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Should we
Thank
get her
you.
back on board? So
Only pull her back up so we can tell her what happened.
there she is.
Did you hear any of that, ma'am?
Yes,
Okay, so the lien's forgiven. We'll need to prepare a removal of lien for you to record, but you'll need to record it at your cost. And it's just being removed.
okay, all right, I appreciate it. And I thank you to all of you. And I promise I will vacate the property after Mr. Vargas sell it. He wants to sell it, the property, because there is a lot of headache on take care of the property. He's been paying a lot of money to the landscaping guys, and sometimes they did not do the job. And I have to go from Kissimmee to Avon Park to check if they cut the grass or not, So probably Mr. Berry is going to sell it for little money just to get rid of the property, and somebody else, the people who's buying the property will be take care of the property, will be build something in the property, will be, improve the property, enhance the property.
Thank you very
All
much,
right.
ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
So Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
I heard you say, let this Randy department, admin department handle this, and then we just set a set amount for everybody.
Right.
Is that what you said?
That's what I said, but unfortunately, we can't do it exactly like that.
So as I listened to what she just said, we're gonna do that to everybody. Is it gonna be fair?
Well, no, that was an unusual
That was
situation.
unusual.
It should, according to Randy and.
But,
and I-
but there may, sir, what I'm saying is we may get some more that probably shouldn't come before us. No,
If we get another one that shouldn't have come before, this code enforcement will do the same thing, just forgive it, because we're not here to just slap people with fines and so on. It's really about compliance, and this was not a compliance issue in the first place
Mhm.
because it was raw land, and raw land is raw land.
Mhm.
But it was, if it's property that has been cleared and then is allowed to overgrow, whether it's, rats and snakes and things like that, which endanger other properties, then that's a totally different situation.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand folks the night end. We're gonna pretty much handle all of them with the same rate, except for the ones that we're gonna dismiss.
Right? Those
Okay.
are very unusual circumstances.
All
That's
right,
the first one I've seen that was just,
We won't get one like that again.
Not likely.
okay, we have one left.
We thought, we were gonna move that to the future. So if that
Okay.
is the motion to postpone indefinitely.
Okay. Staff have any issue with doing that?
I have the requesters are in the audience, but
Okay.
no.
So have you already gone through and,
Well, I've gone through, but when my last correspondence to Randy was that, his concern was whether it's in compliance at all and ever came into compliance, which if it's not in compliance, you can't hear it.
Mhm.
So I didn't get a response to whether that was going to be your opinion or not.
Well, again, this is a 2018 case. I provided you the pictures of the before. You can, so it was a mound of stuff back in, from what I understand, 2018, because all the pictures don't have any dates on them. So I can only assume that's what it was. I gave you pictures from 5/11 of this year, which is what, 11 days ago, of the state of the property. Apparently then code enforcement, I'm going to take it as they probably thought this was just, they closed it because it was a win, even though it wasn't completely complied with. If you look at the pictures, the current pictures. So I can only surmise that. I don't know that, but they closed it. They started the lien on February 1st, 2018, and they closed it on 12/12/18. So it was all running fines by then, magistrate back 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you go by what their rule is back in 2018, or do we go by what current rule would be if I was to go out there and look at this particular site? In fairness to the petitioners and that, they have been in contact. They are moving their business back to, this is the big warehouse out there. I know everybody probably knows this place. It has considerably gotten cleaner, as you can see, but those were the pictures now that you see. The majority of that, and they can maybe speak with that stuff. I don't know what it is. It looks like black plastic to me, but
Yeah, it was a recycling plastic.
is that what it was? Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that, but there is still some there. There's some other stuff that was not cited. Looks like a building, one of these buildings actually caved down. There's some remnants of that left. I would say from what it looked at like in the beginning of 2018, probably 90% better. But there is a small fraction of stuff that could probably be picked up before they moved out there. And I think they acknowledged that as well.
So that was the issue that you were bringing up, Jerry, is that you weren't sure if the property had been in compliance yet or not.
Right. That's why I didn't analyze it. If it's not in compliance, I can't, it can't be lowered.
Right.
Until it's in compliance.
Randy, in your opinion, is it in compliance at this point or not? It doesn't appear to be to me.
It doesn't, but the location, no, I mean, given the location of it, it's at the end of up the end of Sunshine on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Yeah.
It is an I-1 designated area, which is industrial. Industrial is never going to look pretty.
Right.
Much different than commercial that should look on 27 and all that, but it is industrial. They are moving industrial back into that building, albeit not, they won't have this kind of remnants out on the property. I believe they can pick this up rather easily before they move into the building, but that would possibly be for your decision.
Okay. So are fines currently being accrued?
No, there's been nothing on this since 2018.
Okay. So since they're in the process of moving back in, might be a good idea to just simply wait till they get moved in, see what the final layout of everything is going to be, then have a conversation with them as to what is acceptable, what is not. If we have a conflict at that point, then we can issue fines. If we don't have a conflict, then bring it back to us. Does that seem reasonable?
Sure. I agree with that 100%.
Okay.
Because in 2018, it was terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah. And so just so everyone knows, there was a recycling operation that was going on out there.
I remember.
And so it was, a lot of people were having issues understanding what is recyclable material, what is not. Some people were saying the recyclable material was trash, really, but to them, it was a valuable material that was going to be recycled. So there was a lot of issues there. But anyway, personally, like I was saying, let's let them get moved back in. Let's see how their businesses get set up. If it gets set up and it's clean and it's pretty, then we're in compliance and we can revisit this. If it's, not, then we'll take it back up then.
Would it be possible? I just don't want to misspeak. That is what I gathered from that, but would it be possible for them to get up to the podium and just confirm that my assumption is correct?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, sir. If you would just give your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon. Angel Navas, 90 West Orange Street, Avon Park, 33825. Yeah, we cleaned the property. I bought the property and the property has some recycled plastic from the previous owner.
Right.
And we spent almost $250,000 million already taking all that plastic to the landfill. We still got like 10-15% left over. When I was trying to open the building, they told me the priority was the building, not the plastic. And I did the opposite. Now we did the plastic and we already fixed all the compliance that I have with the sprinkler system.
Yep.
The replacing the backflow preventer, all the hydrants brand new, all the sprinkler heads new. So I'm just trying to move him back to the building and get my occupational license. That's my goal to start running the business too.
So you got power hook back up and everything?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so it'll be a metal operation going on?
Yeah, that's what we do.
Okay. So no more recycled plastic? That was all?
No.
Previous guy? So you understood what I was telling you is that once you get your business set up, if it's all clean, then we're going to revisit this. If
Okay,
it's not clean and not aesthetically pleasing according to the code enforcement rules and regulations, then you're probably going to be hearing back from them. So
all right. I just want to make sure that I understand properly. You say that you want the cycling, so you want me to move that 10% that I or 15% that I got left over to be
yeah.
100% clean the property?
So all I have to go off of is 3 pictures here, and I only have one that's recent. So in this one picture, which is probably hard for you to see, but you can kind of get an idea there. There's broken pallets, there's some type of red objects, whatever that is. And there's a little bit of plastic. That's kind of what I'm talking about is basically if all that stuff gets cleaned up and the bushes get cut down and everything, then you're probably not going to have an issue with code enforcement, but Randy would be more than happy to go over exactly what is and is not allowed.
That's
So-
miscellaneous stuff. That should take care of this week.
Okay.
That's not a problem.
Right. And so once you get moved back in, give Randy a call. He'll go back out there, re-inspect.
Just for the record, they've been very receptive. They've initiated contact. It wasn't me that had to initiate contact with them.
Yep.
So I have no doubt that they'll take care of it, but yes, I will make sure that it is in compliance.
And I'm very happy to hear that you guys got the fire system all taken care of and everything. That's a huge building. So it's been there for a long time. I'm glad to see it's back in use. So I wish you guys all the best of luck and hope you employ a bunch of people and do a lot of great things. So
Thank you.
We're gonna
Yep.
include having them remove all the plastic that's on the picture before too, right?
all that had been removed. There's only one recent picture and that's the bottom one.
There's
just the
three
bottom?
recent.
Oh, the other 2 are recent. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the best thing is to get advice from Randy as to what needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
And that, so you don't have overdo that aspect of it. And then he can come out and re-inspect it when you're done. And after you've had 3 months of clean property, then you can qualify to ask again for this.
Okay.
Yep.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just a point of reference, the plastics company that's out there located close to Nucor, did they not take that material?
No,
They won't take it? Okay.
no.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do I need a motion to table?
We'll need a motion to table
I'll make a motion to table.
indefinitely.
D14 indefinitely.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Last call for questions. Seeing none, we'll call the roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Item number 15, RFP 23-02.
This is back in front of you from your special meeting on the 16th. Jerry and I both spoke. We recommend that you reject all submittals and direct staff put out a new RFP. After the meeting the next day, we received one email from Fred Fox that said that he believes that this RFP should have had that we had open mitigation grants. Didn't think DEO would cover it. We received another one from Corbett. Both, they're all nice ones we got, but actually in our procurement policy on RFPs for products or services, it doesn't go to council. It goes to city manager and whatever directors put it out to actually do the scoring and choose. Melanie and I spoke to DEO. Fred Fox had sent them the same thing, and DEO said that one of our solicitors sent it to us. When I was on the phone with the our third, grant manager. We asked her that and she said, no, you don't have to do that. And I said, well, Fred Fox has 30+ years in the business and it does kind of make sense, but she said, no, you don't, but I'll get my colleague, not her supervisor. And I did say, you probably should give your supervisor. Well, the next day she got back, said she talked to a colleague and no, it doesn't have to be in there, be best practices. Well, then it probably needs to be in there. So with everything that occurred, I think it's best we start over, and it's my recommendation that we just put this out for right now for our current ones so we can get those done, and then later on we'll do for future, but we want to get these two going.
So it'd be a motion to reject all bids.
Do we have a motion to reject all bids?
So move.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have any questions?
I'm confused. Help me out. I missed it. And the reason why, Mark, we're rejecting the bids one more time now?
Well, there's really, it's global now. Why? One, there was scoring issues, whether each one scored or it was the total amount. And then we found out that we probably should have, when we put out the RFP, even though it was approved and we have the email from DEO, that we should have had in there that we had 2 ongoing grants that need to be administered, managed, and that wasn't in there. And one of the proposers, actually, his son, who was representing him, brought that up first thing, that, hey, we didn't even know about this, so we put in a different percentage on what we get. And then Corbett, which is Guardian, they pointed out that it, according to our purchasing policy, it probably should not have gone in front of council, and the city manager and the director, who would have been Melody in this case, because she oversees the grants, and whoever else they chose sits down and actually would do the scoring and choosing, and the contract would then come to council. So, and then we reached out to them, and what I heard, I would rather err on the side of our caution and put it out, because when the person doesn't know and they're just asking their colleagues the next day in a meeting, that doesn't reassure me that down the road, a week or 2 weeks or 3 after we do this, that their boss doesn't see it and say they're not in compliance, and we're back at it.
We can't take that chance.
So it's the whole global thing of everything that occurred from that night and the next day or 2 days after.
So we've got a motion to reject all bids. We're going to be putting it out just for the 2 existing grants that we're currently working on. And then when it comes back for scoring, the scoring for those 2 grants will be done by staff.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Does everyone understand that?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. If there's no further questions, we'll call a roll.
Councilmember McGuire,
Yes.
Councilmember McCure,
Yes.
Councilmember Taylor,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Bernard,
Yes.
Mayor Anderson,
Yes.
motion passes.
Thank you. Staff updates. Attorney updates.
I'll be doing the presentation on the legislation at your next meeting.
Okay.
It's not going to be pretty.
Good news, Jerry.
It's a warning,
It's a warning.
time wise or otherwise.
No, it's just what you got given.
Okay.
What is it presentation on?
The legislation that's been passed, and now that the governor has signed, there's a couple items in there. You will now be required to fill out a full disclosure Form 6. It's like everything you own, everything. It's just, I'll have stuff for that, and I'll bring it with me. But there's a lot of people that are upset about that. And the other one is the passage of ordinances can be contested. Now, you have, in order to pass the ordinance, you're going to have an evaluation of the cost to businesses and so on, which is not something I can do. So you're going to have to, there's probably going to be a group of people, a cottage industry of people that are going to, probably accountants or bookkeepers, that will be evaluating the business expenses and so on, and giving you some kind of a figure for that, because it's not something an attorney would do.
Okay. Oh, but you're saying instead of Form 1, we'll be doing a Form 6?
Form 6, right?
Is that by this July?
No, it doesn't start till January.
Okay. So we
And you'll
still
get all the details at our next meeting.
Yeah.
got- Okay.
All the good news.
Well, there'll be news.
Okay. All right. Item number 16 is be regular updates from city manager.
It was nice they got city managers out of that Fort Paso, Jerry.
I noticed that.
Our HR director, Sherry, that you met a couple weeks ago, a couple days later, she got me and decided that probably wasn't for her. It was a lot more entailed to being the director here without anybody beneath her. She was very nice about it. Apologized, sent me a card and everything. So, hey, as I told her, I wish her best of luck. However, we had interviewed two people. The other one was extremely good. In fact, probably would have been Melody's pick if she was choosing. I got a hold of her. She's very interested. Her background just came back. She's clear. She can't come in tomorrow because she's working out of county, but her and I are going to talk on the phone for about an hour to make sure she knows exactly what she's stepping into. You're the director, but you don't have people under doing, kind of like the city manager and others. And Melody does here. It's a working job. So, but I think that she'll probably do fine from her interview that we had. And Thursday, whoop, sure.
What specifically did she say why it didn't work for her?
She didn't. She just said her quote was, "It feels like I'm drinking through a fire hose." And
Wow.
Yeah.
That was too much.
yeah. But you know what? I thanked her doing it on day 7, then 3 months down the road. So,
Yes.
and Thursday night, remember you got your special meeting, repurposing Main Street.
6 o'clock, right?
So at this.
That was my reminder.
Yeah, that's the idea is to select an option or tweak an option or come up with something that we actually agree with to move forward with.
It's gonna be basically a workshop where we'll all be able to talk amongst ourselves or,
No, I mean, it's going to be a regular special meeting.
oh,
So it'll be just like this.
Yeah, and you'll have to pass a resolution and they're gonna bring 3 or 4 different ones depending on what you go with.
Right.
Before we pick an option, are we gonna decide whether we're going forward with it or not? Before we start picking up.
One of the options is to do
Special
nothing.
meeting,
So-
right.
One of the options is not to do nothing.
That's always an option to everything, so.
Yep.
But yes, it'll be a discussion Friday, so, or Thursday.
Okay.
Well, you had it Friday and I caught it.
Anything else?
That's it.
All right, that concludes our agenda. Is there anything for the good of the city? We have a sign up.
Yeah.
I was reminded.
I believe that gentleman left. He was part of the party for the code enforcement lien.
Okay, well, okay, got it.
Okay.
No, you have, didn't this gentleman give you one?
Here.
I thought you left with them. I apologize.
Yes, sir. Just give your name and address for the record, please.
Good evening, Honorable City Council. My name is Michael Benjamin. I own 914 South Pineland Avenue.
Yes,
I
sir.
was supposed to come in front of you today for mitigation of the code enforcement lien that was put on the house that I bought about 1.5 years ago, and I wasn't aware of the code enforcement lien was just for a tarp on the roof. They told me that they were doing me a favor, put me with the Zoom, but the Zoom didn't work out so good for me because I could not hear you guys. And you dropped the liens from $48,000 to $29,000, which is way over the assessed value of the house. And then you spoke about the changing the matrix of your code enforcement fines. It should be not more than 10% of the assessed value of a man's property, which usually most everybody has one piece of property. If you think like an hammer, everybody looks like nails to you guys. You're supposed to be the pastor of this herd, which was us. And you cannot, you can punish us to extent, but this kind of, heavy-handed punishments, will just bring bad feelings about our elected officials, the treatment people get on the reduction of the liens is too rough, is not fair. We're not talking with a bunch of tycoons, we're talking about the hand-to-mouth kind of people. And for me, that I have worked so hard and fixed that property from a drug den to a presentable property nowadays, I should be kind of give rewards, and acclaimed, hey, you did a good job, They come and drop the hammer on me. I would like to sell this place before they kill me here and leave this place, happily. But I would like to leave with a few $1,000s in my hand. With that $28,000 reduction you put, I will get nothing in my hand. Probably I have to come and put $3,000 in the city place. And keep in mind, when you sell a tax deed property, is a 100% profit for the county, for the city. You got something out of nothing. And then you turn around and that's something that the windfall you got, you go lean it with your code enforcement lien. So you'll be double dipping and triple dipping. And without another dime in the game, you will be destroying somebody who could start over with that little something he bought in the tax deed, and they should mark the tax deed properties that they have code enforcement lien with the biggest star next to their portfolio numbers. So people go in there with their eyes open, not to go in there and get hammered and come over here day after day. I have been working here and I was never notified and they had no proof. And I did not get a good fair shake on that Zoom thing, I would like to see if you reconsider that, open my case up, let me get out of here before they kill me. They will kill me here because I run them out of the house where they were having a lucrative business and they will take me out. So now I would like to be on the record that these people will take me out. I have a stop their dealing, So.
Okay. Was there anything else pending on this case? It was done, right?
Yeah, this is a gentleman that you gave 40% under the current one. He's been in to see me at least, 4 or 5 times since, and I've told him you made your decision. However, I told him after the meeting that if he didn't pay it and it got changed, and he could come back in front of you, but
right.
So that's where we're at.
Yeah, so the matrix hasn't changed at this point. So nothing's been done differently.
Right, but that that the 10% assess value is a fair matrix for you, then the 45% will be the top reduction.
I certainly understand your opinion. So
so on that lien reduction, you're gonna take all the sale proceeds from me after I did all the work, clean the place up, put a roof on, change.
No, so you have several options. But I can tell you this council heard your case. They made their decision and that's final. So until the matrix changes or until something else changes, there's no point in coming back.
So wait for the matrix to change and then come again.
If nobody knows if it will. So we haven't heard it as a board. So.
But you don't think my points are right?
I understand your points. I'm just telling you the situation is it's already been brought up and it's already been decided. So you made your case. You had an opportunity to make your case. You did get a loan reduction. You didn't have to get anything. And it also takes years to get a loan that high. So there's guilt all around there, bud. So I appreciate what you're saying. I certainly understand your situation, but unfortunately the case has already been heard. It's already been decided.
Okay.
So. All right. Is there anything else for the good of the city? Yes, sir. Please give your name and address for the record.
My name is J.R. Young. I live at 218 South DeSoto. I'm the current president of Battle of the Bands.
Yes, sir.
Last month on the 27th, I received a phone call from city manager asking us to remove the first responders flag from Main Street.
Yes, sir.
Spoke, understand why. We're just kind of seeking the council's advice on what we need to do to honor and represent our first responders.
Okay. So if you recall, there was a blue striped flag at the Veterans Memorial where the other veterans flags are. That's what the gentleman is speaking about. And as I recall, the issue with having the police flag there was that it was for veterans, is what the memorial was for. And that
once you start deviating from that purpose, then you open yourself up to all kinds of things. So you have to stick with what the purpose is. And I absolutely agree that then there needs to be recognition of the first responders, but perhaps someplace else would be appropriate for that. And or repurpose the site. You know, if that's what your inclination is to do. I know that
Which location we're talking about? The War Dog Memorial?
No, sir.
No, it's right on Main Street.
The flags,
The
the
big flag.
circles.
Okay.
The 6 or 8, how many flags there?
Yes.
6 or 8.
No, ma'am.
No.
No, in front of auto options, the
Right.
circle in front of auto.
Right in the middle of Main Street.
Yeah,
And we absolutely have no problem moving it.
Yeah.
We don't want to remove it. We've taken it
Yeah.
down out of respect, but we'd like to have another option to do something for them.
Yeah.
Sure.
Absolutely. But
I agree. I
it's up
think we
to
need
you
to
to,
find another option.
Right.
That's something we should not take down. I mean,
we need,
remove.
we need to have the recognition, certainly.
So.
Yeah, so basically that monument was commissioned for veterans. And so if we want to make it veterans and first responders, certainly we could do that. Obviously, we want to take a look at when it was done, what the circumstances around it was, so we're not, ruining some type of a vision, that was set forward before, or we can select another location and, put up other flags. I think there was also another issue with the actual flag itself. The blue line flag, there's more than just one law enforcement.
Actually, it had them all listed. It
Okay.
was EMT, totally covered all the first responders.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
It did. Can I add something to that? though?
please.
I spent 35 years in law enforcement, 3 in the Army, so.
That's what I hear.
So I pulled up first responders because yes, it was the blue, the red and whatever, but here's what I found just in 5 minutes. Blue is law enforcement. These are all considered first responders. Blue is law enforcement, red is firefighters, gold is dispatchers, white is EMS, green is military, gray is corrections, orange is search and rescue, white and red is nurses, yellow is security, light blue is doctor, white is social workers, and red with a white stripe is public work first responders flag. So where does it stop? That's what I want to pass.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think probably what the best thing would be to do is another location and have a vision of what it's supposed to be. So like, remember when the War Dog came along, obviously that was very specific to war dogs, right?
Correct.
And so everything relates to that. So if you want to have something for, law enforcement or first responders, there probably needs to be a somewhat spelled out vision as to what exactly that's supposed to be so that it doesn't go wild, and add in all kinds of things. Obviously with the other ones, we had the certain branches of the military. There are so many, that doesn't mean that there won't be 20 more before we're all dead, but we have what we have at this point. So that's probably what I would suggest to you, is put together kind of a vision statement for something, and potentially look out another location for representing those branches.
Okay,
It's probably the best thing to do.
that'll work.
Are you looking to have it on Main Street?
We'd like it on Main Street to kind of stay with the theme of bringing people downtown.
Okay.
I mean,
It crossed my mind to maybe have it around the corner at the sheriff's department in their yard area. I mean, yes, it takes off Main Street and I see. where
it's
you're
not a
going with
bad
that.
idea, but it's not highly trafficked.
You're right.
So, I mean, that's an option. I'd rather have it somewhere than nowhere,
Mhm.
but I'd really like it to have high visibility.
I understand.
Sure.
That's a
Like,
good
like the
idea.
mayor said, it's good, give it some thought as to, how you can vision that to keep it restricted so that it's specific as opposed to
Yes.
broad open. So we don't end up with, a gaggle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. Anything else for the good of the city? Name and address for the record, please.
Named Arnold Wilson, 1412 South Carolina Avenue, Avon Park, Florida.
Yes.
And I think you were out having a baby last time we had this conversation. However, it was a fine quote that was given to me. Boy, you better get on around that corner and leave us alone by this road and get on down there with them children at the Boys and Girls Club and see if we can get something done with them. And with that being said, we have an opportunity to salute Avon Park. Avon Park is different. When the other communities were burning down buildings and having the aftermath of the George Floyd scenario, all lives matter here in Avon Park. And I'm a firm believer that, being the first African-American kid, along with 4 others, who started the integration here in Avon Park in 1965. As I said, Avon Park, all lives matter. And with that said, I'm sure you all are very, very familiar with the opportunity that this property front has to our community. When the workload changed several years ago, the Bahamians were the first people to come over and do a lot of that labor that the slave labor used to provide. And then Jamaicans, and then they, the Haitian boatload, then the Guatemalans, and of course now we have a lot of the Hispanics, Mexicans here that are doing some of that grunt work that we used to have. Within 1 mile radius of this property, we have all those different nationalities that have descendants there. And we're supposed to put in a culinary art school, as well as a Black and Brown beauty school program here at the beachfront property, and in the George Floyd Auditorium, a 10,000 square foot building that could take a lot of pressure off our community center, and also provide additional avenues to have other types of events on the south side of Avon Park. And in honor of my mom, the first Black African-American teacher in this county in 1962, she worked at the old Avon Park High School. And my dad, being the first African-American Black licensed general contractor in this county, we're going to dedicate this property to them in our city and our community. We've already contacted the college. They were very interested in doing some of the same things that they did at the Jacaranda Hotel, with a public-private partnership with those recipes that came from an old grandmother of mine. And we'd like to also integrate some of those different nationalities and make sure that those kids or those individuals who are descendants of those other countries have an opportunity to see some of those recipes that maybe come out of their school. Now, with that being said, and the Robert and Lonnie Wilson Training Center will be making Avon Park has come a long ways. I was running the beachfront the night that the shooting occurred. So the Avon Park shooting gun violence that was totally out of control back then. And they explained some different laws on the books. We couldn't have an officer on duty that particular night while we were having our events. And those laws have cost us many lives. So now, Avon Park, and I'm not sure, Mayor, if you have the itinerary for our Juneteenth event, we would like to have a victory march.
30 seconds.
Okay, I know we had a time frame. So we have a victory march that we're planning to actually start at the Martin Luther King Center. The first responders, I heard a young man say something about the first responders. Unit. We have first round taking discussion about the costume.
Yeah. So Mr. Wilson, are you requesting something?
Yes, requesting, but
Okay. Have you applied for an event grant or an event application?
Yes, we have.
Mayor, can I
please.
Yeah.
Thursday, before we got your agenda out, he had given this to Chrissy a few days before and I pulled it off because it wasn't complete and we've spoke not
Right.
long before the meeting, right?
Mhm.
Earlier,
Yes, sir.
3:00 some. But he wanted to start MLK Complex and go down to Hopewell. And in what he had given us, he wanted to have a DJ there and wanted to have alcohol and consume alcohol and have some vendors there cooking. And I asked him if he got Miss Anderson, or I don't know if y'all know, but Dave Cornett is retired.
I didn't know.
Yeah, Dave on last month on the
Well, that
5th.
explains why he didn't call me back.
But Janice is now the acting director.
Okay.
So I got a hold of them because we coordinate with them anytime there's an event going to go on. And Janice told me, I know nothing about it. I doubt that, and this is after Arnold told me he'd spoke Miss Anderson. She was all for it. He was going to feed the kids there. He was going to food and water. He was going to hand out some awards. He was going to give a top detective to, I guess, the sheriff's office, victory march and all that. Janice got back to me and said, absolutely not. He's never talked to either one of them. On Juneteenth, they're going to have a bunch of kids there. They don't want anything going on there like that. Feel it would be dangerous for the kids. And Miss Anderson told Janice that she did not speak to Arnold and doesn't want Arnold's event out there with all the kids there. And then Arnold did tell me that he got confused and then he just wants to do a march. So that's why he's here tonight.
Yeah, thank you very much for the clarification.
So is there enough time to fill out the application before our next meeting or?
Our next meeting is going to be June 12th, and he wanted to have the event on June 19th.
Okay, so it's still before. Right, so that's what I would suggest is fill out the application.
Again,
I
Okay.
still have the original if you just want to edit.
yeah, we can edit it. The problem is, 2 years, we tried to have this.
Yep.
You know, and then finally we come up with something that lives matter here in Avon Park. And not only honoring the first responders, honoring the cops unit.
Yeah.
But Avon Park reduction in gun violence is down 40%. I don't mean Avon Park
Yeah.
in Sebring.
I don't think anybody disagrees with the premise of it, but
Okay.
just you have to fill out the application, just like all the other events.
Plus if there's going to be alcohol.
No.
Well, Arnold told me in this because
Yeah.
he was talking about using the ball field down there at the old Simpson.
Right.
That's private property. So he can have, if the owners give you permission, you can have your party down there. But what he's talking about is a march.
Yeah, the city, and I apologize, and I take the hit for this, because we were only gonna be at the, in fact, the awards for kids playing basketball was just a caveat of really what I'm trying to accomplish. You know, that's not the big thing. The big thing is all lives matter, the gun reduction is down. According to the article that I found in 2022, was in the top 10 in the United States. Down buildings and stuff. We didn't have that here. We got a good camaraderie of folk here, and I wanted to celebrate that on Juneteenth. So whatever we need to do to have that, I'll show you, make that happen. Thank you.
Fill out the application. Okay. Make sure it's all complete. Yep, thank you. Anything else for the good of the city?
No.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, please.
Seeing no opposition, we are adjourned.